Hello all, welcome to Ambari Cloud YouTube channel. Today I will be discussing about Iceberg multiple file types. What are the file types Iceberg support, and then how multiple files can be used, in Iceberg table, and what are the issues with the maintenance, and then how then these multiple file will have an issue. Houses with a snowflake or a Dreamio or maybe Xtable to convert delta to Iceberg to delta or Iceberg to hoodie. Right. So we'll walk through that steps. Okay. So today Iceberg supports Parquet, WRC, Avro. But more often, what I see in the industry, generally they go with Parquet, and the Parquet is a default format for Iceberg table. However, but traditionally, we use RC for a Hive. But when you migrate from Hive to Iceberg, and if they have a ORC, yeah, it will, we can convert it. It's not an issue. Then once you convert, and if you want to go further feature, and then you want to have all these things in a Parquet format, yes, you can convert, you can alter the table. And then you can combine ORC and Parquet together as a Parquet if your Parquet is your default file type for your table, and which is a common file format every Icehoue is expecting. Okay. So one of Iceberg table key feature is its ability to handle multiple file types within a single directory. And you can have ORC files, you can have a Parquet files in the same directory. Ability and efficiency in the data storage and processing. Right, for example, let's say some engines, they have been working with ORC only. Then if you want to convert into Parquet, they allow multiple file types. That's why then it allows the flexibility. So by supporting various file formats such as Parquet, ORC, Avro, Iceberg table allow users to choose the most suitable format for their specific needs, which is based on their engine, and optimize the performance and capability with the different analytical engines. Right. So, for example, if you're in Cloudera and Hive ORC, and then you want to convert into the Iceberg, and then you can convert, or you don't have to rewrite your Hive into Parquet, then convert, right? So that's the reason they support multiple file types. However, managing one file type is easier as compared to handling multiple file types in a directory. So you don't want multiple file types. Then another thing is open lake house or ice houses, they don't support multiple file types. For example, Snowflake or Xtable Delta, they work on Parquet. So even though the Iceberg supports multiple file types, right? But if you are looking at the open lake house architecture, which is ice houses, right? And I suggest you look at other videos I uploaded. Particularly in terms of many ice houses connecting to Iceberg table. So now you have a ORC Hive table you want to convert into Iceberg. Then after that, since you want to build an open lake house or ice houses, and you want to integrate that Iceberg table to Snowflake or Xtable or Delta tables in uniform, whichever. So you need to convert all ORC into a Parquet file format. So I'm going to walk through step-by-step procedure here. Okay. As I said, Ice houses supports only Parquet format. So then at the same time, we're going to use a Xtable to convert Delta or hoodie. Then yes, definitely need a Parquet format. Okay. So let's assume your Hive table in ORC and you want to migrate Iceberg to Iceberg table. Yeah, then what we do is we migrate ORC to ORC. Okay. Since many lakehouse require file formats, so what we do is going forward, right? We want everything in Parquet format. But during the migration, yes, we are fine ORC to ORC. But after migration, any future data you want in Parquet format. And then whatever the ORC, we will convert into a Parquet. Okay. So first thing is we're going to migrate. Okay. We're going to do, shallow migration or in place migration, whichever works for you. right? Depends on criticality of the application, partitions, real-time streaming happening. I will be uploading soon about shallow migration plus migration strategies. Then once you convert and change the file format to Parquet. So create a table, Iceberg table, right, based on your Hive. So whether you shallow or in place, basically it ORC to ORC. Then once you test complete, then alter the table, change the default file format as Parquet, which allows you all the feature data in a Parquet format. Okay, this is the first step. Okay, once you're done, right, once you migrate and then change the default format to Parquet, we're going to do rewrite data files. Okay. So as I said, the before we write, we need to any feature data in a Parquet format, and then we're going to run a rewrite, right? So simply run the rewrite procedure. So while you are rewriting, of course, related data together. At the same time, make sure that your file size is big enough. That way, all the ORC files will be merged and converted into Parquet format. So try to be in a large file and larger than your ORC file, definitely. That way, then all ORC files will be migrated. If it is smaller than ORC, then yes, you will still have ORC files. Okay. So ORC files, once you run the rewrite, ORC files will be converted into Parquet. Then you need to run the expire snapshot. Okay, initially fine if you want to time travel, but because the rewrite, what happens is your old ORC file is still there in your directories. So you will have a ORC and Parquet, but if you want to immediately attach your Iceberg table to Snowflake and other things, you can attach it. But if you want to do some time travel feature, then you can't, because then it has to go to the ORC format. So instead, run the expire snapshot, right? So generally, since it is a migration, right, there's no time travel initially. So let's run the make sure that run the expire snapshot, right? So which eliminates the old ORC files. Then you will start with fresh. That's why. So as a part of migration, convert ORC to ORC, then change the default file type to Parquet, and rewrite file size, then expire snapshot. Okay, those are the steps you need to follow. Okay, so initially the table format is ORC. When you create an Iceberg table, it's ORC, then do migration. Once you run the migration, that's why if you look at it, the file has ORC files. Then when you do default file format it will be in Parquet format. So now if you look at here, in both formats, in the same directory, right? Partitions differently, of course. Then we're going to do a rewrite. When you do rewrite, you set the file size, sufficiently bigger size. Then since these files, all 4 files are very small, tiny. When I do resize, then all files are converted into one Parquet file. So ORC is gone. Now, since older files are still exist, as I said, because these are for time travel after you do rewrite. So you will have, then you do time travel, these files will be deleted. So with that, you have one standard single file format, Parquet. Now integrate with Snowflake, or you can use Icehoue to convert into Delta or Hoodie. Okay, let's walk through step by step. So I'm going to start my Spark session, and this is my database here. Then I'm going to use my database. Then I'm going to have a HM table, right? In this case, doesn't matter if you are using a more table or cow table, depends on your use case. You're going to go with more or a cow table. I suggest you walk through step by step about more on cow table architecture and when they need to be used. Watch the other videos I have already uploaded. Okay, let's create the table. So now look at this one here. I created a ORC table, right? So here I'm not showing the migration steps because it's going to be separate videos. Let's assume you have someone created an Iceberg table in ORC format. Then which is includes your migration. Because if you are Hive to Iceberg, then yes, definitely you have to create a WARC if your Hive tables are in WARC. Then some data, right? Okay. Now let's look at the count. Okay. Yeah, 20 rows. So just always check the data files, all files, right? So always start learning about this metadata of tables. So now all are ORC. Then I'm going to check all the files because I want to see every file available for that. Right now they are same. Okay. Now I'm going to change. So once the migration done, right? Now we're going to change to table format, right? So default format is Parquet. So you're going to use this set properties. Okay. So let's change the properties. Now I'm going to insert feature data coming in. Let's assume. And then let's check the, now look at here. I have a Parquet ORC, the exist in my same directory. Let's look at only my data files. Now I'm looking at all files, right? Let's look at only data files. As you are aware, okay, then it will show the most recent the Parquet files and data files, right? So the data files basically what based on the current snapshots and all the stuff whatever available. Okay, now let's look at the this directory. I have Parquet files and all the stuff. Now we are ready to integrate with Snowflake. Now or we want to do Xtable. Now, as we discussed, yeah, you can have multiple files. I can do constant selection, not an issue. And let's check one more. If I want to do it, let's go back to the count, right? Yeah, 40 rows, right? So nothing changed because I can still use both words. But as we discussed, we don't want to have multiple file formats, particularly open lake or Icehouses, Snowflake Icehouse or other things will not allow to have multiple file formats. So I'm going to change file size here. Then I'm going to run the rewrites. I suggest you look at another video how to do rewrites and what are the strategies for rewrites and how to do the entire directory, entire table or particular partition. Look at more details on the rewrite. And this is a most critical procedure you might have to do maintenance on a weekly basis mostly or partition by partition. I'm going to run the rewrite. So all my 10 tables convert into one table because I took very big, right? Now let's look at my data files. Okay, now I have only one data file for my current snap. Let's look at one more time. Oh yeah, check all files here. Yeah, we already have it. So all files showing everything, right? These are the files for all my snapshots, right? But for current snapshot, the most recent current snapshot data file, there's only file. So see the difference between data files and all file. All file shows the all files available for this table for each and every snapshot. The data file will show only current snapshot data files. Okay. See the difference between data file versus all files. Okay. Now, yeah, I can do time travel, right? Because my old WARC files are still there and all the stuff, or old Parquet files, whatever. But the question is, we want to integrate to open houses, Icehouses. So we don't want this ORC file. And this is first migration, right? So there is no need of keeping for time travel. So what we're going to do is we're going to expire. So your table, if you're using a Spark API and your table is an external table, and if you do, you don't want to, when you do expire, you don't want to purge all the data files. So what we need to do is we need to set the property GC enabled equal to true. That means, GC enabled equal to true to make sure it's not, we want to remove the files, whatever we need to do, right? But by default, it is a false. Now let's go back to one more time. The reason is we put false is when you drop the table, we didn't want to lose the files. Because of external feature, external table is not like a Hive in Iceberg with Spark API. So if you drop this table without this GC enabled equal to false, then your file's also gone. Okay. So only enable this one to true whenever we do expire snapshot. Otherwise, this should always be false, because accidentally, if you drop this table, you don't want to lose the files belongs to that. We don't want to lose these files. Okay, that's very important. This enabled equal to false. But since we are running an expire, that means we need to delete files. We need to enable them to true. So once you enable the true, then you can delete the files. So what we're going to do is we're going to check the all the snapshots and everything, right? And then here, this is whole history, but I want to take this one here, right? And I'm going to put my time here. Okay, I'm going to run expire snapshot. Okay, so all the snapshots expired, and now I have only one snapshot because I removed all, right? So I kept only the most recent one, right? Now let's take my data files. Of course, obviously we'll have only one file, and check all the files. Okay, all files. So right now, since we run the expire, and then we want to keep only this snapshot, and that particular snapshot has only one file, right? So that's why if you look at the data file is only one file, and then we then expire, and it removed all other files which we are not interested. That means all the snapshots which we are not interested. Then we have only one. So this is how you do RC to Parquet migration when you want to convert, you want to get ready for the ice houses or open lake house. Okay. So these are, again, one more quick review. Make sure you are in ORC initially. Then after that, alter the table to Parquet. Then feature data will come. Feature data will be coming in Parquet. Then rewrite data files, right? Once you rewrite, all your ORCs are converted into Parquet, because you're combining small files into big file. Then after that, but still you have a old ORC file because of the time travel requirement. Then we don't need a time travel. Then we're going to expire. So we're going to expire based on the most recent timestamp. Then all these snapshots are gone, right? But at the same time, make sure when you're running Spark, and if you have a GC enabled equal to false, which is default, because you want to make sure you don't want two files will be purged when you drop an external table. But however, you need to convert into true state before you run expire. Once you're done, then you have to come back, and then you need to change the status back to, okay, you need to change the status back to false. So what we need to, you can automate. And at the same time, when you do a daily expire snapshot, you have to follow the same procedure, right? Enable GC enable equal to true, then run your expire snapshot, right? Then will false. So you can automate this procedure. Okay. So this is how you're gonna walk through a step-by-step setup, and then automate if there's a need for, if you have a, or for example, you are getting your ORC files from late arriving files, and then you want to attach ORC file to your existing Iceberg table. Yes, you can attach, but after that you can then rewrite files in expire snapshot based on whatever it requires. Okay, so this is how we're going to do it. Thanks for watching, and reach out to me if you have any questions. Okay.